Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have a review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HGUC, the Efreet Jaeger from the Gundam Battle Operation game story mode, the Code Fairy. Now this is a very unique specimen. I'm not talking about kit-wise, I'm talking about the actual, mobile suit-wise, because as far as I know, this variant never really existed until the game, the Code Fairy, the story mode of Gundam Battle Operation actually showed up. So it's a very interesting case. So we never seen this unit before until they popped out that trailer. And then they started releasing, these variants. Now there are two more units from the Code Fairy operation that has been released as a kit. One of them is the P-Bandai exclusive, the Pale Rider variants, the Pale Rider, the White Rider and the Black Rider. I have pre-ordered the Black Rider, which I do have. The White Rider I decided to skip on because I've reviewed a good amount of Pale Riders at this point, and I'm kind of aware of the sticker situation. So, knowing that, I think the Black Rider had less issues, which is why I decided to go with that. Anyway, so let's see what we got. So, the Efreet Jaeger. I have reviewed a good amount of Efreets on my channel. You can check those out. I'll leave a link in the description below for the past variants. There will be no comparisons because at this point we should know how they work. But I will try to point out what parts are kind of familiar if I can. Alright, so let's see what we get. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Efreet Jaeger itself, definitely looking good. The Efreet kit, the HGUC kit, the molding, the casting has been always pretty good. The Efreet Kai was very nice. The Nacht was also very good at the same time. So yeah, I have no issues. I never really had any issues regarding the kit. Of course, there are some small issues that I used to have, but once again, they're minor issues. So, component-wise, other than the mobile suit, hand-wise, I do have the multi-purpose hands onto the hand. You might see there's another weapon storage unit on the back skirt as well. And then onto the left side of the unit, you might see two weapon stores. One of them is actually a kukuri. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a heat blade or just a blade, but once again, kukuris, as far as I know, the way how you tell them is by this bent design here, and then these are more of a chopping rather than a slashing knife. And then we have actually these small grenades. I believe in Zaku terms, these are supposed to be called crackers or something like that. So yeah, these are supposed to be like small grenades. They can either be explosive grenades or one of those flashbang grenades, as far as I know. Once again, I'm not sure. I haven't really played the game mode itself. I do play Gundam Battle Operation 2, but I haven't actually purchased the Code Fairy game yet because of the way how I play it. Because I use a Japanese account, but I don't purchase anything on my Japanese account. I usually purchase on my Korean account, which I live in my country. So while Korea has the Gundam Operation 2 official service, buying the game, I'm not sure if that will also automatically be purchased on my Japanese account. So yeah, I'm doing some research. Alright, other than that, let's see some weapons. So weapon-wise, we do get a good amount. So we get the shotgun. We've seen this before on the original Efreet as well. So yeah, I do like the shotgun. And the other case to get the shotgun is buying the camphor. And then we get its sniper rifle. Now, I believe this unit, despite being a sniper type unit, which is very interesting because the Efreets has been known to be, most of the time, their image has been like a close combat type unit. But of course, the regular Efreet is a general type mobile suit. So yeah, from that image to going full sniper is very interesting. Here we do get a trigger finger hand. There's no peg and handle system here, so this is going to be slightly wobbly. But I do like the design, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a big fat magazine. It's not. It's a full. This is like one of those simple builds where you slap two pieces together on the barrel as well. So either this is a very fat magazine or it's like a double magazine here. Now, interesting enough, so on the scope on the back here is a regular sticker. On here is we get one of those orb or like jewel type stickers where it's a very plastic piece but with like a sticker here. So very well done. I really like that design here. And we do get an open hand for the left arm as well. And then for the shotgun, if you're not a big fan of the smaller handle, you can always swap out for the one with the actual stock. Now, I tend to use this one because I do like the more simple design here. So that's more of a preference, if you ask me. And then we get this part. So, being a sniper, if you see the Efreet Jaeger's right knee, you can see this part is slightly different from the other side. So this is supposed to be like an extra stand here, extra like support. The only kit that does something similar to this was the HGUC Zaku Sniper, the Zaku 1 Sniper. And once again, so in order to bring it out, you do need to do some part swapping. So yeah, I'll demonstrate that later. Yeah, I believe the Zappa 1 Sniper also had a interchangeable parts, despite not being the full out version. All right, so being Premium Bandai, there are some stuff we need to talk about. But before that, we do have some sticker sheets here. So here we have all the stickers. Not many stickers here. Most of them here we have the mono eye. Here we have the cameras that are on the main body. Here these are that actually goes onto the shoulder. These one goes onto the foot, and here is the one that goes onto the scope. So very minimal stickers, if you ask me. And then and here is the sheet for the orb sticker that goes onto the scope. Once again, only one. And then here we do get some Xeon symbols going on here. The manual does mention where to put these, but it's really up to you. So on the manual they tell you to put these two on each shoulder, and this one I believe was either onto the left knee or the left front skirt. So yeah. All right. Being Premium Bandai kits, there tend to be like leftover parts. So let's go over that. So number one here I actually accidentally brought out was the commander antenna. So because so far all the Efreets we got before always had the commander antenna thing going on here, and this is the first time that we're not seeing that. So yeah, which is why we have a leftover piece, and there's technically no way to use this because there's no headpiece, alternate headpiece that we can actually slap this on. So if you want to slap this on, you're gonna have to drill a square hole onto the forehead. Just saying. Alright, and then let's see, we have some plates here. So here we have the C2 plate. So here we have another joint here. So this might be a different design joint. There should be another C plate because I believe being C2 there was another plate here, but once again I'll show you guys later. So here we have the leftover polycaps. And then here we have the I1 plate, so which has the original backpack here, and some thrusters and some parts here. So yeah, and then yeah, here we have the I2 plate. Once again, another thruster and another part there. And then here we have the B1 and B2 plate. So I'll just show you guys the B1 plate because the B2 is almost identical with the exception of this part here. So we have a purple feet part going on here. And let me just zoom out a little bit. And here we have the original. So these parts are very familiar. These are from the Efreet Kai part. So here we have the missile launcher, but only the back part. I believe this is the back or front. I keep forgetting, but yeah, we only get half of this because on the other side, for those who haven't built it, we have this huge hole. There's another part that's supposed to cover this part up. So we only get half of that. So too bad. And here we have the parts here. Now we do get the hand cover, but we do not get the inner part that goes inside with the small red missile or grenade launcher parts here. And we get some extra hand covers going on here. And that's pretty much it with the feet cover. So the B2 plate is pretty much the same without the feet cover going on there. And then once again here we have the C1 plate. Once again more parts, but once again the same joints here, and then with some of these small parts that we don't use because each shoulder has a different design here. This uses a different size joint. Sorry about that. All right, so we went over for the leftover parts and components. Then let's see the articulation here. So far, if my memory serves correctly, most of the Efreets had pretty good articulation here, but only with one exception on the main body because of the cables. But let's see what we got. Alright, so let's see, the head, definitely looking good. I do like the look overall, because of without the commander antenna, it definitely has a different vibe going on here. I do like the more simple-ish look going on here. And here are those stickers I mentioned about that goes onto the main body. The mono eye is a sticker, and the main head is connected to a ball joint, so going side to side is possible. 360, yeah, because of the big long head, you're going to have to work your way around, but it is possible. The mono eye does actually technically move, so you can see it moves, but it moves a little bit on the easy side. It's a little bit feels on that loose section going on here, but once again, technically what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to be able to pop out the entire head piece going on here, and then be like this, and then readjust the mono eye. So I believe some of these mono eye kits would do it the other way around, where you should be able to control it from the bottom. But once again, well, I guess it can't be applied to every kit. That's my assumption. But yeah. So other than the rotation, the head can go down pretty okay, and then up a little bit more. So not so much up. So I guess that's just the limitation of the design, because the head being a more of a longer style head going on here, so which is why it doesn't allow much movement. All right, so each shoulder, the main arms are pretty much the identical design. It's just that the joints here are using slightly different size ball joints, plastic ball joints. So the arms can go 360 each with no problem. The one with the spike, let's see, the arm can go roughly about 90 degrees like that, and then the other arm with the less, armor let's see. Actually, I think I might have messed up there. So let me just take this part off. And with that, yeah, you can go slightly more than 90 degrees, but once again, with the armor, that might be slightly different. Yeah, the armor is they did a pretty good job on this side of the armor. I think this is a new piece. Once again, they did all the color separation here. You put a white piece, and then on top of that, you put this purple piece. All right, so for the main body, as my previous reviews mentioned it multiple times, that the body articulation is going to be limited because there are these cables that goes from the front that goes inside to the backpack. So which is why it limits any rotation on the main body. While you do have a little bit of wiggle on the ab crunch, but that's pretty much all you're going to get. Well, I mean, side to side is also possible, but once again, it's going to be feeling very limited because of these cables. So that's going to be one limitation. Whatever Efreet comes out, whatever like version comes out, unless they figure out how to deal with these cables, this is always going to be an issue. There are certain kits that are like slightly hard to handle because of these type of cables. One of them being the HGUC HGUC, if I remember correctly. There's a reason why I don't review that kit. All right, so the side skirts, once again, all the structures are pretty much the same. Now, the front skirts come as a single piece, but the manual does tell you to actually separate them by slicing off in the middle of the ball joint. So they can move freely, and then the side skirts do slightly move going on here, but once again, there's going to be some limitations here. And then the way how this kukuri works is that it's like a clipping mechanism, so you can clip it off here, and then you can see this joint, the storing port is actually connected to the side skirt. So there's a hole there, so that's where it connects. Similar goes on to the we have this side right over here where it has the two crackers. On the if you look at the other side, there's a hole there, so that's the main conjoint here. So you can actually you are technically able to take these part off if you want to do so, but technically there's no way to actually hold these grenades. I just want to mention that as well. There's no practical way to hold this because you don't get a dedicated hand to hold these. So yeah, and the way how you store them is that you can actually just slide them into that gap there, and that's how it holds it. Very interesting design, if you ask me. All right, so for the legs, you can go to the side, not so much because of the side skirt is blocking the way. Just want to mention that as well. And then forward, about 90 degrees almost. And then bend wise, we do get a very nice bend. Backwards, not so much. I mean, you could technically go to the side and go a little bit more, but once again, that's not exactly going directly back. So once again, these are like some issues that we see in pretty much almost every kit here going on. There was a lot of front and back skirt and side skirts, but we do get a nice side swivel going on here. And feet are your typical ball jointed feet, so you can go forward and backward like that, and then side to side with a nice pivot. And here we have this, you can see this gray area onto the feet here going on here. That's a sticker, the square one, not the large one. Only this square part is a square area is a sticker, so no big deal. And onto the spike shoulder, you can see this round sticker here. That's a sticker, so there's another one on the back. So yeah, stickers are pretty minimal, and if you ask me, most of them could be colored if you have the right colored paint. All right, so one thing to show you guys the way how this works is that you're supposed to take this part out, and then you're supposed to re-plug the slightly more longer one, and then once again, you have to take the front part out here. This is supposed to come out and then reattach it here. Now, it's not a huge, like, you know, it's not a huge length change, but I believe because I remember the Zaku Sniper 1 had a much more longer output here, but still, oh well. And regarding the shotgun, yes, you can actually store it. This is how you're supposed to store the shotgun onto the back here. A little bit on the wobbly side, but yeah, oh well, but it does clip on, so no big deal. We do have a hole here, but in this case, this kit does not really have a use for this one. Alright, so we've seen the basics going on here, so I'll be right back with a few demonstrations regarding the weapon, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the first demonstration with the kukuri and the shotgun. Now the shotgun, we've seen this before a few times, so which is why I'm not going to be too focused on it. I just wanted to show you guys the kukuri. Once again, if you want to hold these weapons. For the shotgun, you do need to use the trigger finger hand. It does not work on the regular multi-purpose hand. For the kukuri, you do need to use the multi-purpose hand. So you do need to do the annoying, take apart the hands and then you put the weapon in position and then reattach the fingers. So you do need to do that annoying process. So yeah, everything works pretty well. I forgot to mention regarding the arm articulation, they all work pretty well. You do get a double jointed bend going on here, so you do get a decent bend. Now, only on the left arm, you do get this arm guard thing going on. The other arm does not have that, which is why you're left with this kind of ugly hole. So if you do want to use the leftover parts, despite not having the, the grenade launchers for the handguards from the Efreet Kai, I guess you could technically use those if you want to do so. And regarding the legs, you can see the outer parts, these are all, there's another armor part going on here, so which is why I believe these are the exact same parts from the Efreet Nacht, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the kukuri looks very cool, if you ask me. I do like this weapon because, once again, it's something that we don't see too often. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this guy. I already mentioned that these crackers, well, there's no way to actually properly hold them onto the hand. You're going to have to use either the open hand and try to balance it on that or glue them on. So yeah, it's kind of a shame, but once again, oh well. Okay, I think the only thing that's left is to show you guys the sniper rifle and the way how this knee support works. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I tried to do the sniping kneeling pose as much as possible. Once again, I'm not the best person when it comes to these type of action poses. I did as much as I could. I am using the open hand for extra support because the ball joint here is slightly on the weak side. So I actually had this hand pop out a few times while doing this pose. So, and even though I did slap it on, the rifle is slightly front heavy, so which is why it's going to droop down. So you're going to need some extra support with the other open style hand to give it some extra natural look going on there. But once you have everything working out, it looks very cool. Now I tried to line up the mono eye and the scope as much as possible, but once again, I'm not the best person, and it is missing a few extra millimeters to the side, but once again, oh well. Anyway, yeah. And you can see onto the right knee, it's using the support here. It's actually, this part is actually supporting flat on the ground. So yeah, it works pretty well. So I think it just depends on the knee design. Some knees are not really meant to hit the ground. So I think that's why they actually consider this, because these type of knees are not always the best design for extra support. Now I think it would be better if this was slightly longer, but once again, that can be controlled by doing some customizations. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HGUC Efreet Jaeger from the Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy side story game, or story mode game as well. Now, kit wise, I think it's pretty good. It still has the main, advantages of being the Efreet mold and such. There are still the same limitations, such as the cable that connects to the backpack, hence not much movement on the main body. But still, I think this is a very good item if you're collecting the Efreet variants, because it's the fact that they went from they made a sniper variant of the Efreet, which tends to be the image of the Efreet being more of a close combat type weapon. Anyway, hopefully my review helped you guys out. This was the review of the Efreet Jaeger. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.